Yup. It's not morning. Don't be wishing me good morning yet. It's not morning. It's fucking dead ass middle of the night. Dead ass middle of the night. $10 a.m. in the UK. Oh, okay. Well, my bad. My bad. It's 5. Oh, Jesus. You poor bastards. You poor, poor bastards. Oh, yeah. Am I gonna have to fucking clean my pipe again? Already gotta clean this pipe. Okay, it's fine. 'Tis fine. What's going on, everybody? How's it going? I could grab the bomb. That is true. I could grab the bomb. Test out the old bomb. Hits from the bong, do 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 do. Hits from the bong, do 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 do. Hits from the bong all night long. Hits from the bong. Let's try it out, shall we? Feeling hella depressed? I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Do dabs? No. I'm just gonna take hits from the bong today, if that's okay with you. And even if it's not okay with you, I'm still gonna go ahead and do that if that's okay with you. Is there ice in the bong? There could be, but I don't think I'm gonna need it tonight. I do like ice in the bong. All right, nice little bowly bowl there. Good. Oh, sweet Lord. Mother of mercy. Oh. A bootleg bong. Kinda. We used to, when I was a kid, use 2-liter bottles. Excuse me. And we'd make these squeeze bongs out of a 2-liter bottle, where you'd rig up a bowl to the top, empty, except for a little bit of water. You'd squeeze it to suck the weed into it, pop the bowl off the top, and then squeeze it out, like let it expand and suck all the fucking weed out of it. It's not really a bong, though. Holy fuck. Well, it hits like a champ, I'll tell you that much. Do Americans use both the metric system and the real one? I'm talking about liquid. I guess. I don't know what we do. We do fluid ounces for liquid. Kind of like a gravity bong, like a cheap gravity bong. You can make gravity bongs from 2-liter bottles too. Let's cut the bottom. Oh. Holy shit, man. Yikes. That's got me stoned. You probably measure liquids in fish bladders and rain gutters. What are we talking about here, man? What are we discussing? What are we discussing this fine evening? Rain gutters? Yeah, dude, I got sent to the goddamn shadow realm with that bong hit. It's going like, yeah. It works. nice and high. That's not always like the most conducive thing to making a good ideology, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll just chill. Maybe I'll end up moving inside and we'll chill inside. I don't know what we'll do. I like sitting out here though. I'd play some Guilty Gear, but I've got gamer thumb right now. I've got gamer's thumb. I do press down too hard, yeah. I've never been able to get around it either. So I'm just moving to an arcade stick. That's what I grew up playing these types of games on anyway. So I'm thinking it'll probably be better. No. No, I don't get bored watching movies, TV, or videos while I'm high. It's pretty easy for me to just like focus in and like do that whole like stoned ass tune out. Like, I'll watch some shit that under normal circumstances I would never watch. Yeah, I'm talking about arcade cabinet joysticks, not the early iterations of fighting game joysticks that for consoles and shit. Those were shit. But I ordered one that's basically a recreation of arcade cabinet, at least, or maybe just sub arcade cabinet quality. I got the PS4 version of the Hori Hayabusa, which I plan on, if I really like it, I plan on swapping out buttons on it. Giving myself some clickier buttons and a more tensioned joystick, because I like a real springy joystick. Yeah, that's one of the things that I've decided to do that I've never done before. Is I've always been a fan of the fighting game community. I've always been a fan of fighting games, but since I was a kid, I've never really gotten good at one. You know what I mean? And good is relative, of course. I'm not ever saying I was never like top tier or whatever the fuck, but I could run the arcade in my local area on the games that I was into. And as an adult, I still appreciate fighting games, and I like watching the tournaments for them and stuff, but I'm not good at them. You know what I mean? With like modern fighting games with the combo system and shit like that, like, you have to understand, like, when I was a kid, pulling a combo was like cool, but it was not necessary. It was all about what is called footsies in, you know, modern fighting games, right? So footsies are when your two fighting characters are kind of fighting it out over the center of the map. You know what I mean? It's like throwing out normals to check somebody moving in on you. And that's what so much of like Street Fighter 2 is, what so much of like Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 are, Samurai Showdown. Like, all of those games are what I played when I was a kid. And you know, these newer games are all about like hitting one button that lands in that footsie game and then canceling into a big huge damage combo. And that's just something I'm not familiar with. Like, I don't know exactly the mechanics behind that yet, or I'm not great at it. But I want to get good. Not like Evo champion good, but I want to be able to play fighting games. Yeah, I'm playing Guilty Gear Strife. That's the one that I'm at least gonna start fucking around with. But I'm gonna be learning Anji Mito in Guilty Gear Strive. Tried the Shrouded Isle as it was dirt cheap on Steam, sort of Lovecrafty vein of something like Darkest Dungeon, except it's a town management thing where you run the cult of a returning god. Neat. That sounds kind of neat. No, I like the specials and stuff. It's like you had specials back on that's kind of the thing is like here's what's different about modern fighting games versus like the ones that I played, right? And the ones that I played, you would weave your specials in as part of your pressure, right? So even if you knew the opponent was going to block, you'd throw out a special. You know what I mean? In modern games, it's almost the opposite. Unless your special is a fireball or a projectile or something, like if you're talking about a special like a kick that goes forward or whatever, like that usually sets up a punish. That sets up a punish. So like if you whiff a special move in one of the older games, you know what I mean? It's not immediately your opponent's turn, but in a modern fighting game, it is 100% your opponent's turn. So if you miss a special move and they block it, then they get the opportunity to fucking hit you before you can block. And that's something that's different about modern fighting games that I'm not used to. So I'm a type of guy I'll throw out specials because, you know what I mean? In the games that I played, that was what you did. You threw out normals, you threw out specials, trying to catch somebody. In modern fighting games, you don't throw out normals because the same thing applies to a normal strike, right? So if I throw out a big, heavy roundhouse kick and it whips a few frames to recover from that, during which you can dash in and fuck me up, take half my life bar from me. Well, they're based around combos and reaction rather than, you know, pressure back and forth. Yeah, I've been doing that on Guilty Gear. I've been learning because I've never played a Guilty Gear game, so I'm being introduced to like the particulars of the game. Modern fighting games are based on combos. You need to know the character to be able to pull off that combo. Just walking up and landing a hit, because they all move different. Yeah. You remember your first Mortal Kombat fatality? Yeah, dude. I pulled my first Mortal Kombat fatality was I pulled Sub-Zero's. You see, like this idea of a move that you had to input really quickly, like, but was multi-angular. It was different. So me and my friends, we did not like when our Mortal Kombat first hit the arcade. They even had like a thing that would tell you how to do some of the fatalities, like as part of the cabinet. And I remember we struggled with it because none of us were like forward down forward, and we're trying to do the first fatality I ever pulled was Sub-Zero's fatality, and it was forward down forward high punch. Right? Well, we're used to quarter circles. And so we thought forward, down, forward meant like 2 quarter circles. And so we're trying to do that and never pulling it off. And then one day I just remember I beat a Scorpion playing as a Sub-Zero. And I went, instead of doing I went, dun, 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 and I was like, oh! And that was, you know, it was just different, right? The inputs for special moves for us were always smooth quarter circles, half circles, or 360s on the joystick. Or, you know, I don't even know how to describe the Shoryuken kind of thing, but you get my drift, like reverse quarter circles. All very smooth, circular movements, or, you know what I mean? You never stop and go to pull off a move, you know what I mean? But that's how you did fatalities in the original Mortal Kombat. You basically take your hand off the stick and go. I love fighting games, dude. It's something that I don't talk to you guys about super duper often because I realize that it's like a super niche thing. And if you don't know, it can be very like lame to listen to and shit. Rip number 2, Electric Boogaloo. Much better. Oh. 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 So anyway, yeah, I won't belabor the fighting game shit, but I really love them. I always have since I was a kid, and I really haven't taken the opportunity to learn a new one ever. Like I'll fuck around in them and mash buttons and stuff. Closest I came was Street Fighter 5. I spent some time learning at least the basics of canceling into specials and negative edge. Like I didn't know about negative edge. That's another fighting game thing that a lot of people don't know about, that you can buffer a special move by holding down a button and it goes off on release. So you can, like, for example, you can jump at somebody, hit the kick button, but instead of letting go of the kick button, hold down the kick button while your character is going in the air and hitting the other character, be putting in a special move in, some kind of super, right? And then as soon as that ends, you let go of the kick button and that super move is buffered and just goes off and immediately hits them. That's the ability to have a move go off on release of the button, not just the press of the button. It's called negative edge, and that's like 100% of non-mashing and fighting games now. Is you have to learn how to buffer your specials. You have to learn how to like buffer your normals into a special move, cancel your normals into another normal for big damage. It's all about like capitalizing on every hit. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've been having fun anyway. So I'm just, in my free time or whatever, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn how to play Guilty Gear, and thus hopefully learn how to play modern fighting games. Not so I can be like top 8 Evo or whatever the fuck, just so I can compete and have fun. Oh. It was uncomfortable in the GameStop demo game. Me being a real creeper, just looking at Chun-Li on Street Fighter 5, I started grabbing myself and went to jail. What, bro? Bro. Homeboy. You shouldn't grab yourself in public, homie. That's bad. Do we still have reflexes in our old age to compete? Sure. I mean, like I said, compete is different than be a pro, right? I'm pretty sure that like unless I dedicated my life to it, there's no way I could go pro in a video game. But that's true of anybody, right? Like the people that are pro in video games, they're pro because they dedicate their life to it. So this whole, like, I understand like your reflexes aren't exactly as sharp as they are in your 20s, in your 40s. That is a truth. Your kind of twitch reaction time and muscle memory and shit is not as great as it could be. But not every game relies on that. And so the truth of the matter is, it's like, I think you could be as good as you want to be depending on, you know, how much time you want to spend learning it. Like for me, I feel like I'll have an easier time than some people would because I played so many of these games when I was a kid. So some of the fundamentals of fighting games are already ingrained into my muscle memory. Jumping, sweeping, you know, special moves and how to pull them off and the timing for those. All of that shit really hasn't changed. Like busting a Hadouken is the same as busting a Hadouken. The Hadouken ain't changed, and neither has the fucking famous backwards Hadouken. Since 1992, bro. It hasn't changed. A 16-year-old won the world championship in Fortnite and got $3 million. Can you imagine, dude? Can you imagine being 16 and getting fucking $3 million for playing a video game? Dude, I was just trying to fucking find time that my parents would let me play a video game at that age. His parents get all that money. Of course they do. As well they should. They're raising his little ass. They financed everything about his Fortnite rise to power. It's not like he's a self-made Fortniter. Mom and dad bought everything that made it possible. They get it all, yeah. Sorry. These are the breaks. Rule of thumb, don't become a champion video gamer while you're still living with your parents. Move out and then do it. Then you get to keep your fucking money. Then you get to keep your money and it doesn't end up just paying mom and dad back for your existence. I don't think it's right they get it all, but like I said, these are the breaks. Speaking of professional gamers, that's what a lot of these stay-at-home with your mom dudes are betting on becoming. Nah, I mean, come on, dude. Most of the people that I'm talking to have even given up on that. They know they ain't gonna be no fucking pro gamer. Dude, most of these people don't even, like the people that I'm talking to, don't even try the fucking traditional do nothing ways. Like they won't even stream. They just literally sit at home, get lost in their internet persona, and play fucking video games all day. They don't even have the motivation or desire to be good at it, you know what I mean? And to compete at it, because that would be work. Why do that when, you know, mom's putting a hot pocket in for you right now? If they don't have the ambition to make money, they won't have the ambition to do something as hard as be a pro in anything. Yeah, you're probably right, bro. Probably correct about that, I would say. like how you kind of allude to the fact that women can't raise men. Huh? What do you mean? Allude to the fact that women can't raise men. I was raised by a woman. My dad was a 90% non-participant in my upbringing. I never say dad because, like, most people like have an extra fucking helping of respect for their moms. And so I like to constantly point out how disrespectful it is to your mother to stay at home and garbage gut her fucking retirement so that you can stay at home and do nothing but give excuses. But yeah, you can replace mama with dada if you want. Yeah, dude, that's a ridiculous assumption. Well, you have to understand, and this is now we're getting into fucking more complex shit. Now we're getting out of the realm of talking about the home cells that we're talking about, right? And we're talking about their parents. So somebody like the people that I'm talking about, homestuck, filled with excuses for how they can't, still living at home well past fucking 25 or whatever the fuck. No ambition to go to school, no plan to move out. NEETS is what they're called. Not in education, employment, not employed, education, or training. So not in employment, education, or training. NEET. NEET. Right? So those people don't appear in a vacuum. They're made. And I'm not saying that they're maliciously made, but a lot of times parents, without knowing it, create these kind of people who are learnedly helpless and who are basically baby birds that never fledge, right? Because mom doesn't stop spitting worms into their mouth at any point in their life. Mom does everything for them, covers up everything for them, makes sure everything's okay for them, and never lets the kid learn a lesson, never teaches right. It's a total, so these types of people, it's very unfortunate, but oftentimes they're created by the permissiveness of their parents. Bro, that dude was literally said in chat yesterday, the day before, why would you pay your parents rent? No, I know. It's like, what? Huh? Why would you pay your parents rent when you're living with them as a 30-year-old? Because you have a fucking sense of shame? It's okay, dude. You have times when you're living with your parents, short-term arrangement, popping in. Dude, I'll be honest with you, dude. I had an arrangement like that. When I moved back from Arizona, my dad was moving out of the condo that I ended up buying. He was renting it. And he offered me to take over the lease. So it was like a built-in place for me to land. And there was a like 1 month period where my dad and stepmom were staying there and me and my girlfriend were staying there. And then they moved out. And I took over the lease. And then eventually ended up buying the place. You know what I mean? But that's different. That's like going home for a reason. You go and you move back in with your parents for a little bit and transition to something. That I don't care about that. Nice toot. Dude, that's got to be the best toot we've ever gotten. That's the best toot we've ever gotten. top toot. And I wish one of them would toot me right here. Just like... That's what I want to hear, but I'll take what I can get. Toot uncommon. You're not reading the whole thing, Matt Blank. It says no adding excessively, and it also says no side conversations. So if you're adding somebody, how many rules are you breaking? Please read the entirety of the rules and realize that they all apply to every message. Yeah. It's very simple. They're very well designed and easy to follow. Toot it and boot it. Toot it and boot it. Yeah. Stop giving people direct reasons why they were banned. You can just read the rules. Yep. That's better off anyway, because it doesn't, it doesn't bring attention to people who may be getting banned over and over for trollish reasons. Just ban them, and if you've got it on hand, post the fucking rules. That's it. Were people fighting in the chat with all caps? No. People would use all caps to distinguish their message amongst everybody else's message. And so it got really annoying. It was like an attention-seeking behavior that needed to be addressed because it was just really annoying. It made the chat unreadable sometimes. Are you a fan of beat-em-ups? Love beat-em-ups, like old school ones. Streets of Rage. I actually played Streets of Rage 4, the kind of modern one, for a long time, and it was great. A lot more like a fighting game than a beat-em-up, to be honest with you. I also like the more technical beat-em-ups, like Devil May Cry, the OG Devil May Cry. Trying to think of other ones. There was a fighting game that was more of a beat 'em up called Bushido Blade back in the day. Fuck. God damn, that game was great. I wish they'd bring Bushido Blade back, dude. If you guys have never played that game, dude, that is an old school game that was so dope. One hit kills. It was like actual ninja samurai shit. You had the pick of all these different kind of like samurai warriors and Chinese warriors and shit. And you know what I mean? It was just like your whole idea was to defend, ting, 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 because one hit and you're dead. Just like in real life, you get laid open from here to here with a sword. You don't keep fighting. Yeah. Great game, dude. Fights were so quick because it was usually like one parry, maybe two, and then somebody dead. You know what I mean? And it's like, whoa. Basically one stroke. One stroke kills. There was no two strikes. You could strike. You had several different buttons. You had no special moves, no bullshit. It was all movement and defense. So you could defend a strike, high or low, and you could strike high or low. So it was all about parrying, strike. Guy parried the wrong way. you win. That's how quick a fight was over, too. In the time that it took me to say that, that's a round in Bushido Blade. Great game. No, I have no clue why they haven't made a game like that. A modern game like that would be so dope. Yeah, dude, I had Bushido Blade as a kid, too, and who knows what the fuck happened to it, you know what I mean? There's a game out like that now called Two Strikes. Cool. I can't remember the characters in Bushido Blade, to be honest with you. I remember them all being very, like, samurai archetype. I remember there being, like, kind of a more ninja-type warrior that had faster strikes but shorter range. I remember there being a typical Hahomaro type, you know, Samurai Showdown, Hahomaro type of, you know, katana swordsman. I believe there was, like, a Kabuki-type warrior, you know what I mean, that had, like, a longer reach but way slower strikes. I can't really remember, to be honest with you, who else was in the game. PS1 was when I was like, no, not Bushido for DOS, Bushido Blade, bro. Cool. Yeah, I should check it out then. I've never heard of One Strike and Two Strike, so. Hellish Court. Cool. I'll check it out too. Yeah, I'm interested in those types of games. I like it. When did the gang show up? Trying to think. Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly fucking when. Like, letting people know what your travel plans are is a good way for shit to be stupid. So, but it'll be this month. So we're coming up on it. We're like, the guys and I are really in like a run to get our content finished, I think this week, and make sure that we're covered for the time that we'll be taking to get together, take a little kind of fucking vacation together for a couple of days, and then go and film a ton of fucking content. So Hellish Court. Kind of a weird question and maybe a stupid one. Will Ashley be there? No. Ashley and I broke up over almost going on 2 years ago, bro. Yeah, I don't know if you heard. I'm married now. You know. Yeah, she was in the DN. Dude, just stop. You're being real fucking weird, bro. Just stop, dude. Act like you had, like, I know maybe like you're bad at social cues or something, but asking a dude why his ex, a married dude, why his ex from 2 years ago isn't going to be in his show is pretty much the dumbest fucking conversation I've had all week here on Highdeology, and I have some pretty dumb fucking conversations. So I need you to check yourself and quit being fucking real stupid, okay? Because it's starting to be creepy and it's starting to be parasocial. So if you're an autistic person, and I'm not trying to fuck on you if you are, you need to take that and realize that, go back and look at what you typed, because it's very creepy. Okay? Thank you. Pick up on social cues, bro. Yeah, it's literally a question that a 4-year-old would ask. It's a why would I pay my parents' rent question. So very, very much, if you're an autistic person, please try and take that to heart and learn to never do that to a person, because it's very off-putting. Okay? And if you're not an autistic person, quit being a fucking moron. We are getting together this month. We have purchased studio time in the LA area, and we're filming it this month. That doesn't mean it's coming out this month. It's going to take a while for it to get released, because we're doing anyway, I don't know how much TJ has told you guys. We're doing a full re-release of all the Dank D&D content. We're going to carve it up into episodes and release it episodically. And at the end of what we've already done, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've done 4 sessions of Dank D&D. At the end of those, the new shit will be edited and ready to release. So the shit that we film now will probably be released 6 months from now, but yeah. If I ever get funding for my AAA RPG, would you be interested in writing a side quest? No, not really. Hire me to do some voice acting, though. If it's AAA, make me a character, and I'll do that. Like, I'll cut you a deal on that. Always wanted to voice act in a video game, like a real video game, you know what I mean? No disrespect to people who make indie video games and shit, but like, you know, get the opportunity to voice a AAA character or something would be really neat. So yeah, you get that fund and hire me. Find a character for me, and I'll do it for you. I'll give you a price. Did you guys do D&D when y'all were on DP? If so, is that coming out too? What? No. We never did D&D. Ever. But like, we did D&D well after we established DFF. What type of character would you want to play? The one session of D&D, like legit D&D that I've ever played, I played a shifter druid who took perks that kept him in bear form all the time. And I also took a perk that allowed me to speak common while in bear form. So I was basically a giant bear that could cast spells. Pretty cool. I liked that character a lot. I tend to like druid type of characters, so I'd probably play a druid type. Nobody ever plays a fucking druid. Like, the guys rolled up their characters and shit, and I was like, somebody please play a fucking druid. In my mind, I'm like, please. Somebody play a druid. No druid. Of course, no druid. Just like, well, whatever. When you're old, you might even sound like the great late Henry Rollholtz. German voice actor and translator with the whiskiest of voices. Neat. Whiskey voice. What even is a druid? Like a forest warrior? Kinda, yeah. They're a character that's limited by being way more powerful outside, right? Because they manipulate nature. So the magic that they have, in contrast to like a wizard or something, right? A wizard draws upon arcane energy or void energy or whatever. A druid draws upon the power of nature and manipulates the power of nature and interacts with nature through their magic. So the more enclosed the space, or the farther from access to nature a druid is, the weaker the character is going to be, depending on how you design them, right? So if you design like a super spellcaster druid who's all about entangling vines and summoning, wild companions and, all the kind of nature shit, poison mists and all that shit, you're gonna have a hard time if you end up on a campaign where you're in a cave, right? But if you build a druid like I built, a shifter druid that's more of a frontline combatant type of druid that has spell casting on the side, if you end up in caves for 90% of your fucking journey, you're cool. Because you're a giant fucking bear. But if you do spend some time outside, you're a giant fucking bear that can also cast some nature spells. It's also, it's not like every druid spell is limited by being inside. It's just that a lot of their more powerful abilities are hampered if they're inside or underground. Mushroom druids, yeah. I mean, I just wanted somebody to play. I don't know. There's some unconventional characters in the next session that we're doing, but I don't know. I kind of told the guys go ham, right? I gave them kind of like wide latitude to pick whatever the fuck they want, and it was like, dude, if you want to make up a character class, do it. I'll make it work for you. You can just kind of pick what you want skill wise, and if I think it's balanced enough to fit into the game, you can do it. And they all picked like pre-existing characters, like archetypes. I was like, okay. I mean, it's gonna be fun though. They picked a diverse range of character classes and shit, so. But yeah, they've gotten their characters rolled up, and I've started the plotting work that I couldn't do because I didn't know what kind of character classes I was going to deal with. Yeah, I told them that they could be whatever race they wanted to be too, and if they wanted to like make up a race, I'd make it work because like I basically homebrewed the system that we're playing in. It's based heavily, well, not heavily, but it's based lightly on the Pathfinder rule set and universe, but the map is mine, the towns are mine, the characters are mine, the plot lines are mine. Like I didn't find some Pathfinder module and run with it. I made up this whole crazy Gimlek arc on my own, you know, came up with the whole fucking thing. So I've got some fantastic ideas for letting these guys have a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's stuff that I've been working on for a long time. So I've got a lot of work done on it. Remember the wood genies in Clash of the Titans whose bodies were immune to almost everything? That would be cool. Could the character be a mount so that they could transport other players around quickly? I mean, yeah, like my character, the bear druid, if somebody was playing like an elf, like a wood elf or something, they could literally saddle me and ride me as a mount. Like there would be nothing stopping that. My character would not be hampered at all by having like an 80-pound elf on his back, you know what I mean? So that could definitely be a thing. Also, one of the character archetypes that I keep hoping one of the people will play because it would be such an inversion and nobody wants to do it, of course. A fairy, dude. A legit fairy. Like a fae character. Where you're like this little, you know, winged creature about 12 inches tall. and you've got all this fucking awesome magic and all this evasive ability and shit. And it's just like, dude, how funny would it be for TJ to be a fairy? But, you know, I want them to play something that they're actually invested in, and TJ's probably not interested in playing a fairy, you know. But those are the types of characters that, as a player, I would want to play. Playing like a human fucking wizard or some shit, miss me with that. Sorry. I have the chance to be anything I want. Let me be a human paladin. It's like, no disrespect to, you know, people's choices and shit, but I'm not built that way, dude. I'm like, what's the weirdest shit I can be? I'll be that. Just like, I don't know. You got the opportunity to exist in this fantasy world, and you just like, I'm gonna be a human. It's like, what? Okay. Not a vampire, huh? Not a fucking werewolf, just a straight out vanilla human. Yeah. Do you want a desk job? Oh, that'd be cool. It's like, okay. What race is your shifter druid? He was like I can't remember what it was. Shifter is its own race. If memory serves, shifter is the race. So I was a shifter druid who was constantly shifted. People just use fantasy to be a muscle Chad instead of some coolness. Yeah, dude. I want to be a human fighter. Dude, you realize there's fucking like necromantic wizardry in this game, right? You realize that there's fucking like you'd summon mushrooms to poison people and control fungus. Yeah, I want to be a human fighter named Lord Bufficus. And what's your backstory? I like to slay evil. I'm a guy who spent his whole life training to slay evil. Well, yeah, at least TJ's character is a fucking different race, though. He's a big dumb orc. Yeah. Stevie was a Nord fighter in the first round iteration. Dude, I would love to play a Bard. Bard is cool. Dude, Bard is such a cool class. Like, especially like a dedicated performance Bard. They're like literally almost worthless in combat, but they can augment the abilities of everybody else in the fucking party to such an extent that that's what makes them great, right? They can boost a fighter's speed and agility. They can boost a fucking rogue's attack speed. They can boost a wizard's spell casting ability and damage and all that shit. It's great. They can defend. They can heal. Illusionist, yeah. I would love to play like a gnome illusionist and take the spells that let me appear as different races and shit. So I'm this little withered old gnome, but I can appear as like a beautiful woman or a giant orc or whatever the fuck I want to appear as, you know what I mean? It's awesome. Think about the roleplay possibilities with a character like that. You can literally look like anything you want to. Nobody ever picks that shit. It's like, dude, I struggled so hard with my first playthrough of Baldur's Gate because that's the character I rolled. I rolled a gnomish fucking illusionist. It was so hard. I beat it though. I got through it. I needed them party members. See, there's no like combat benefit to it. You're not actually an orc. You know what I mean? You just look like one. You just appear that way to other people. You're actually a withered, frail little gnome with 2 hit points. You know what I mean? So it's one of those abilities that nobody wants because it doesn't have like, but does it let me do a fucking backflip and throw 20 knives at everybody around me? It's like, no. Oh, no, I don't want to do that then. I'll be a human rogue. I've really been thinking about this and was like, I'm going to be a human. I'm going to be human. Is there anything more basic than like a rogue warrior? I'll be that. Human warrior. All right, what's your character's name? Can I just make his name like my name? Like Lord my name? Yeah, but I mean, like, why not interact with the world as a fucking fairy and really get some escapism? Like, I don't know, whatever. I mean, to each his own. Somebody's got to roll up a goddamn fucking human. Every goddamn time, somebody's got to be like, yeah, I'm going to be human. True. For people who are new to it, or for people who have a real shit DM that isn't willing to fucking work with people. But whatever, dude. Of course, in LARP is a little different though. And to be quite frank, like D&D, the way we play it is a little different. Like I said, the whole system that I use is homebrew. The entire thing. Like I just stripped the combat down to something that could be done quicker. Learned that lesson after the first episode because we spent so much goddamn time arguing about fucking dice rolls and counter rolls and fucking modifiers and shit. And I was just like, fuck this. Are there any mech or Dwemer type of characters? You could be whatever you want, yeah. I'd be totally down to let somebody roll up a mech character. What up, Peyton? I don't have any advice for you on your OCD, man. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Working on some stuff for Lance Sloan, huh? That crazy fucking Lance. All right, I'm in the dark realm now. I've gone to the dark realm. How do I do show? How do I do show? From dark realm. I have smoked the hippie lettuce, the forbidden Jamaican ganja, the weed with its roots in hell. This one has sniffed some moon sugar, yes. This one does not do skooma. The strain that shall not be named. Holy shit, fuck, whoa, ooh. Ugh. All right, what are we talking about? What's the topic? The forbidden hemp. Australia. Oh yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, Australia. I mean, doing pretty good for a prison colony. You know what I mean? Why does Australia have such an overabundance of ultra super hot women? Can somebody explain that? Like it's like California levels of like ridiculous hotness, but distributed all over the country. It's very strange. It's like a continent of California. Russia? I mean, that depends on what you like. See, that's the thing. There's like this real preference-based stuff, right? So a lot of people, and I'm not saying they're not beautiful, but a lot of people worship this like Russian, Ukrainian, Eastern European type of look in women. It's very like thin, model, kind of wispy, blonde, light brunette kind of thing. And, you know, whatever. I mean, that's not my thing. Like, I like women that are striking. Ivanka Trump, yeah. Melania Trump, you know, that's your ideal, I guess. Oh my god, dude. Fuck this. I gotta move over to this other chair. This fucking chair hurts my ass. I'm done with it. I'm gonna throw it away. I'm gonna chop this fucking chair up and use it for fucking firewood. I'm gonna burn it. to the ground. Let me set up over here real quick. In a chair that's actually comfortable enough to fucking sit in. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. That's better. That's better. That I can work with. On some level, at least. I think I'm hungry. I think I'm hungry for food. I think that's part of what's going on here. I haven't eaten today, except for the egg sandwich that I had for breakfast. So I'm pretty sure I need to eat some food. Paul the Hyman, yeah. Hyman, dude. Hyman. Thanks for the hamburger. Dude, can you imagine? And then in the future, instead of sending people like emojis, you could send people like food. You'd be like, "What's up, dude? Want a French fry?" Yeah, dude. I just put a French fry into my thing. You pull it out. Oh man, dude, those fries are great. So on a night like this, when my fat ass is sitting here feeling hungry, but too stoned to do anything about it, you guys could be like, "I got you, fam." And instead of sending a super chat or whatever, you just like throw me a cold slice of pizza or something that you've got. I'm just like, "Oh, thanks, bro. Nom, nom, nom." Wouldn't that be cool for me? Look like I need a neck massage. I probably do, dude. Probably need like a whole ass full body Swedish massage and a spa day where it's all about me. You know what I mean? Oh, fuck. A spa day. Probably have really fast drones to do that first. Huh? Fast drones? Aren't drones already fast? The ones I see are fast as fuck, bro. Hella fast drones. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen something that I would call a slow drone. Unless it's like one of those little cheap ones, the plastic ones that you get your kid. All drones are fast. What are you talking about? What's your problem? Is that not true? I'm still on a very, very basic level aware that there are people watching, and it may look like I've got my eyes closed, but I do have one eye on the chat. Just letting you know. What? No, dude, you can't slap somebody with the technology. Just pass them a french fry. Are you satisfied with the speed rate of new technology? Fuck no, it needs to go faster, bro. Everything needs to go faster. I'm 100% serious about this. Let's talk about this shit, dude. Everything needs to go faster. Is that true, Paul's ego? Yes, it is. Human beings need to go faster, bro. This whole, like, speed limit shit, we need to learn how to break that. We need to go faster. We need to run faster. Our cars need to go faster. Our planes need to fly faster. Our technology needs to be more responsive. And it needs to have access to everything in the world faster. More immediate. That's what needs to happen, bro. If we're going to continue living in this goddamn fucking godforsaken Gehenna of a world, we may as well have some fucking cool shit to look at. You know what I mean? Not to be a party pooper, but if we are too much, you can put us away. What? Shut up, Ann Prim Paul. Why are you trying to act like you're my mom, dude? You're being a fucking weirdo. Like you're bringing like heavy ass parent vibes into me just sitting here and being stoned. So next time you pipe up tonight, I don't even care what you say. You're banned and it's for good. You're a vibe killer, bro. Heavy ass fucking, this is your grandma and I'm concerned vibes coming out of you, dude. Who do you think you are? Paul, you can stop streaming if you want to. No shit, bitch. Don't condescend to me ever, bro. And don't ever act like you're my friend, because you ain't. It's weird and parasocial, and you need to check yourself up in here. I don't let people do that to me. It's so weird. You're my mama. One of the great fucking upsides of being a fucking grown-ass man is I don't have to take advice from dumb bitches. Not a motherfucker can walk into my life and give me advice about shit. I can tell them to go fuck themselves. You know whose advice I follow? Mine. Hell yeah, you're still strangers. And 99% of you realize that, but that creepy ass, fucking parasocial ass 1% don't get it. How could you be anything but a stranger to me? I don't watch your stream all fucking day. I don't fuck all about most of you. Some of you I know because you've been around a long time. So I know you as people. And there's a couple of people that chat up in here that actually know me. Like Pranav, my friend Rodney pops in. Amelia pops in. I'm not going hard. I'm just trying to be real with people, man. People need to be shook. Stop doing that shit, man. It's so weird. So fucking creepy how you use that fucking sense of familiarity that can come with watching somebody and apply it in the real world and think you're gonna wrap up somebody and it's just fucking so stupid. Bringing your heavy ass concerned mom vibes into my shit. It's just like, what do you think you are, dude? I'm lucky at my age. I still have a mama. If she's concerned and calls me, I'll listen to her. I have a wife. She's got concerns. I'll listen to her concerns. I got like 4 or 5 real close friends in my life. One of them calls me and they're concerned about me. I'll hear them out. If you ain't on that list, keep it to yourself because I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Sorry. Yeah, dude, give me a blanket. I need a blankie. I'll snuggle up with a blankie. Paul is one of the only people I watch that's honest about parasocial strangeness on the modern internet. There's so many people that think watching someone entitles them to acting like their friend. Yeah, I know. And like, there's a difference between being friendly and being a friend. And that's another, like, distinction that I don't know that everybody gets. It's like, I want to foster a friendly environment here on Highdeology for the regulars, for the people that get it, for the people that participate. You know what I mean? It's a friendly place where some of us, being very like-minded as we are, can get together and meme. But it's not a friend interaction, right? Corporations can be friendly. And I'm not, that's just the thing. There's a line here on Highdeology, and a lot of people find themselves over it a little bit. And most people, like I said, most people get it. Most of you fully understand it. It's a place to chill, have entertaining conversations, but some people like to come up in here and act like they know you or try and give you advice like they're a boss. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Dude, my work day tomorrow is fucking insane, dude. I have so much recording to do. It just sucks. But it's getting, it's getting everything in the bank. So, and I do have a fucking much needed vacation coming up here soon. So, yay for that. Oh, man. Dude, I could literally pimp monk right now, I think. I'm pretty comfy in comparison to what I usually am, sitting on that fucking throne of lies over there. That fucking Louisiana rocking chair, it looks so comfy and gets you in this mode where you think it's comfy, but it's actually a goddamn seat of torture. It's a throne of lies. Now I'm in a recliner and I can be at one with the universe. Have you ever met a fan in real life that overstepped a boundary? I'm trying to think. Not really, dude. I can't really think it. Like, if, hmm. You know what? There was a guy that I fucking chastised once. And, he was, I don't know. He was just being annoying ultimately, but there's this dude that was just like, we were sitting around and we were having a conversation. This isn't really even overstepping a boundary. It's just like the only thing that came to my mind when you asked that. We were sitting around out in front of the, which fucking meetup was it? It was the Toledo meetup. And we're in this like group of like, I don't know how many people were out there with me. Probably like 20 people like engaged in conversation with me smoking. And then another like, 5 or 10 people milling around. I would move out, smoke some weed, vape a little bit, and then go back in. And so, it's always just kind of people coming and going. And there's this dude who all night I kept hearing him pipe up about how, like, I don't even know who these guys are, man. Pfft, who are these guys? And he's like partying with us and shit and walking around. And he was out, like, I saw him out in the audience for our show. And he was laughing and stuff. And so I walked over to this guy because he hadn't said anything to me. And when I approached him, he immediately was like, oh, dude, hey, cool show tonight, man. And I was like, cool show? I was like, every time I've heard you tonight, you're explaining to everybody how, like, you don't know who I am. He's like, because I don't have a clue who you are, bro. I'm not a big fan or anything. And I'm like, why do you feel the need to announce that? And what are you doing here? I just kind of like asked him directly, like, what's that about? Because it's annoying. Later on that night, that dude was in the smaller group of people that were with me migrating from the bar that was closing down to another. And he walks up to me and he tries to be all fucking friendly with me. And he's like, hey, man. He's like, bro. He's like, dude, I just want to let you know, dude. You're a fucking cool guy. And I was like, shut up. You don't know who I am, bro. How do you know I'm a cool guy? So I don't know if that was a fan being weird or... Because I can't imagine somebody just like hanging around a bunch of people that are fans of something, not knowing it, and just getting off on telling everybody that you don't know it. So, like, yeah, dude, I'm not your buddy. I'm not your friend. How often do you get recognized in public? Not that often. But to be quite frank with you, I'm not in public a whole lot. Ugh. I'm not your buddy, guy. I'm not your guy, friend. What's that from? Ocean's 11. South Park. Okay, South Park and Ocean's 11. I'm not your bro, dude. I'm not your dude, guy. I'm not your guy, son. I am not your son, chief. Dude, those roosters are really fucking confused. Unless I'm crazy. crazy and it's pulling up on 5 a.m., which I don't think it is. I think, well, maybe it is. Holy fuck, roosters. Stop it, roosters. God damn. Goddamn, little Zanny the man. Holy shit. Alright. Dude, I have such fighting game on the brain right now. I love it. I love my reinvigorated interest in fighting games, but I know nobody wants to fucking hear about that shit. My brain is just kind of like, because I'm super stoned too, so my brain is just like fighting games, bro. I'm just like, yeah, fighting games, man. Oh, shit. You only play games of the highest brow, so anime graphic novels, dating sims. Well, the fighting game right now that I'm into is Guilty Gear Strive. It's my first Guilty Gear game. I love it. I think it's great. I want to get better at it, so that's what I'll be doing. Yeah, I'm not good enough to be thinking about frame data and combos yet. I'm just thinking about the general concepts of fighting games and the different possibilities, the different types, and the different ones that I've played over the years and really enjoyed. The characters that I've really gravitated towards and why I've done that and how fun it's going to be in my spare time to learn another character and get decent at it. Thinking about backwards Hadoukens, yeah. Mobile fighting games? Bruh. There's no such thing, dude. Imagine how easy it is to develop a gambling addiction playing online poker, huh? I mean, for me, the whole frame data thing is going to be used for me to learn which normal buttons are good on my character and which are bad. Like, what's a good poke with a fast startup and a relatively, small hurt box? Like, for example, the character that I'm learning right now, Anji Mito, his, like, ducking jab is super fast. It's a good way to push pressure back because it's got like a very quick startup and a very quick recovery, so you can spam it. It's like it actually combos if you spam it. So if somebody's like got you in the corner and they're constantly hitting buttons that take longer to start up, you can interrupt them very well by just kind of duck blocking, watching for the overhead startup, and just knock them back a little bit, give yourself a little breathing room so you can get out of that fucking corner. Because really, like, that's what fighting games are about now, corner pressure. 100%. Or knowing how to respond to it. So you're either zoning or you're pressuring. And a lot of the fighting game characters are different blends of or pure expressions of that archetype. So, you know, a character either wants to keep you at bay while whittling you down with long range attacks that you really have no answer for, and kind of control the neutral game, which is like that middle space between the two characters, and never let you get in. Every time you jump, they've got an answer. Every time you slide, they've got an answer. You know, you try and do a special move and they see it winding up and they've got a quick answer to it, like a Dulcim type of character. Dulcim is that type of character. So Dulcim is a character that, for the most part, with the exception of busting some really Hail Mary kind of high damage combos when somebody does get in, is a character that, at least traditionally, I guess he's played a little different now in Street Fighter, but, you know, like a zoning character. I guess the character in Street Fighter V would be Falk. Falk is a character that does a lot of fireballing and hoping to keep people out with long-range normals. So you're either a zoning character or you're a character that's trying to get up in people's faces. I can only do fast characters because I get frustrated when games respond to inputs. Yeah, I mean, fast characters where you're talking about is getting frustrated with like frame wind up and shit. Like, that's the point. But yeah, I mean, Chip Zanoff would be your Guilty Gear character. He's a fucking total he's a total chimpanzee, bro. He is all over you like stink on shit. He's quick, confusing. There's some characters in games that can merge that rush down and zoning gameplay. Yeah. But typically there are characters that are better at rush down and better at zoning than them. But yeah, they're jack of all trades type of characters that have good neutrals, good buttons maybe, but maybe not as good a buttons as a dedicated character, but they can play that neutral game against more rush down heavy characters if they want, or rush down the more zoning characters. So yeah, a character like Soul Bad Guy and Strive is, I would say, the perfect example of that, like the all-rounder character. Ken and Ryu are those types of characters, right? So Ken and Ryu are both really, really deadly up close, but they're also able to just sit back and lob fireballs and keep you out of the air with their dragon punches and anti-airs and shit. So they can be played, well, especially Ryu, very defensively. Ken, as time has gone on, has developed into a rushdown character. But he still has the ability to play the neutral game, even in the modern iterations that I've seen. Shang Tsung and MK, yeah. Shang Tsung is a great, well, but see, Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat is a little more complex because he's every character. So that's a great character, right? Because he's got his own moveset and shit, and it's deadly. And it's mostly about zoning. It's not about being aggressive. But at any moment, he can shift into an aggressive character and play a completely different game mid-match. I mean, that's an insanely powerful ability. It's one that you don't see in other fighting games. It's actually OP as fuck, if you think about it. I'm every character. So what can you counterpick me with? You pick Jax or whatever the fuck. I pick Reptile, and I just keep you at bay constantly with my zoning. Never let you get in on me. You pick fucking, Scorpion. I pick Baraka, and I rush you down. You know what I mean? You just don't have a chance. So modern fighting games don't have characters like that. They just don't. Like unless I'm unaware of one, there's no character that can at will shift into any character in the game. There is a character named Seth in Street Fighter V that has an ult that kind of steals the soul of whoever you're fighting against so you can become them. Who's the best grappler? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm qualified to say who the best grappler of all time is. Zangief, you know, I mean, is the template grappler. Big, slow, you know, can take a lot of damage or whatever the fuck, but has to get in, has to get close because they're really dependent on getting that big throw off on you, you know. It's a patience character. But one of the reasons I like Guilty Gear is every character plays completely fucking different. There are no characters that are similar to one another. Not really. You know what I mean? Every character has a totally different kind of archetype, play style. It really heavily kind of like encourages people to stick with one kind of person and go with that. Well, of course, everybody, like, okay, so when you're playing a grappler, everybody knows what kind of game you're pulling. Everybody. 100% of the time, everybody knows what kind of game you're doing, right? They know you need to get in, so they are going to do everything possible to make sure you do not get in. They're going to pepper you with fireballs. They're going to pepper you with anti-airs as you try to get close. And playing a grappler is all about knowing how to strategically, slowly walk them back, because eventually they hit the corner. Uh-oh. And they've got to do something. You've slowly but surely, and you've taken damage along the way, but you're a big beefy fuck. Doesn't matter. That's the fucking play style of a grappler, you know what I mean? And everybody knows it. And so if you're going to play a character like that, you've got to get used to the fact that every other character in the game is just going to pepper you with fireballs, pepper you with projectiles, zone you with moves as much as they can, use teleports to move around the fucking screen so you never get close to them. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to have that in your mind, have that as part of your game plan, and capitalize as soon as you can. You know what I mean? As soon as they leave you, you know, the ability to hit that command grab, you do it. And you take their fucking, you take half their life bar with one move. I mean, that's kind of those types of grapplers, the one that you described there, Dirtbag, I call those bruisers, right? Typically, like, yeah, bruisers will have command grabs and shit, but that kind of mix between rushdown and grappler is a bruiser in my mind. Like, a true grappler is a Zangief, a Potemkin from Guilty Gear. Just that's their shit, right? And of course, different iterations of them have had the ability to be pressure machines. I know, especially in more modern games, but the gameplay still remains the same. They are really susceptible to zoning. They have to be smart to get in. They have to be patient to get in, because their win condition is a move that you've got to be that close, you know, to your fucking the other character to hit. A bruiser character that's got a command grab, like Alex from Street Fighter V, is somebody who I would call a bruiser. He's got a fucking horrible, not horrible, like horribly damaging command grab, power bomb. And, you know, you don't want him in close, but he's got this kind of like really good pressure game where he can get in close to you. But none of his moves do anything like the damage of a pure grappler's command grab. The highest damaging move in the game is always a grappler's ult. So if Zangief gets you in his ult, you're going to take more damage than any other single move in the game. Because, you know, that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a character that's based around getting in close. So if you let him get in close and get his ult off, you're going to die. You know what I mean? the best thing a grappler can have is a balance of good offense and defense. Yeah. I've heard people pick hot chick characters strategically to distract the other person. I don't know about that. I don't think anybody seriously playing a fighting game is going to be distracted by the bouncing titties for very long, you know? I don't care how down you are, you know? Eventually, like, those pixel titties just become part of the game. But yeah, I guess maybe if you're playing against, like, real low-level people, picking the one with the big fat titties hanging out might, like, whoa! You would like the UFC games, Paul. They're raw, realistic. You have to account for stamina, and you don't win by draining a health bar. Yeah, I mean, I've played one of the UFC games. It was an earlier iteration of them, though, like a PS2 version. I remember not being all that impressed with it, but maybe I'll try out one of the new ones. Especially now that I'm getting a stick, because I really can't deal with having my thumb being torn up every time I goddamn play a fighting game. So I've got a stick on the way, a nice stick, heavy, so I can fucking pound on them buttons and shit and sit in my lap and play it like an arcade game. Yeah, I'll try out a UFC game. I mean, I definitely like that, but I tend to not like 3D fighters. I'm a real aficionado of 2D fighters, or 2.5D fighters as they call them, right? I really don't. I'm not a big fan of Tekken. I'm not a big fan of pretty much any of the 3D fighters except Soul Calibur. So that's tough for me. That, and I really don't know much about UFC, so I'd be kind of lost in terms of like strategy and shit. I'd have to learn about UFC to play that game, and I don't really care about UFC. I mean, I like the fighting concept of it. I mean, I'll play a 3D fighter, but I prefer straight up 1v1 2D fighters. I prefer that type of like one versus one mentality where you can't run. Eventually, you can't run. You know, you have to face me at some point or keep me out forever. Oh, yeah, dude. I'm a Voldo main as well, and the original Soul Calibur, at least. I'm not claiming any kind of competency with him, but the original Dreamcast Soul Calibur, my Voldo was unstoppable, dude. So evasive, so weird. Dude, Yoshimitsu, I wish I was good enough to play Yoshimitsu. I love watching people swag off with Yoshimitsu because people get so mad because Yoshimitsu is so weird and cheap and inscrutable, and nobody knows how to fucking prep against him. But he's so hard to play, you know. Same thing with Voldo. Voldo's pretty tough, you know, in terms of a character. Doesn't have a lot of the buttons that other characters have in that series. I need to just quit looking at the fucking number of people that are in here. I wish there was a way to turn that off, to be honest with you. Because my stoned brain is going like, why are there like 10 people fluctuating in and out of this stream? Is it just people that are coming back and hoping that I've moved on to something that's not fighting games? And then they just keep leaving when they hear. My brain invents these narratives. It's just people naturally coming and going, or YouTube being weird. I wish I could just turn it off. It's distracting me. It's fairly similar with combos and certain attacks like takedowns and speculation punches and kicks. And when you say learn UFC, you mean like learn the moves and shit. Like learn what works against what. I don't know how UFC fighters fight really. Like, I've watched UFC matches and shit, but I don't know anything about it, so I'd have to learn all the terminology and all the different, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Oh. All the UFC games have Joe Rogan yelling in them. Oof. That. Can you turn him off? Can you shut him the fuck up or pick a different announcer or some shit? Because if not, that's a big mark against the game. I can't hear Roe Jogan fucking screaming shit the whole time, bro. I can't function with that. How do you crack knuckles? You just do it. I don't know how to explain it to you, bro. I have my own method. I think everybody does. All right, well, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later.